All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order the Village of Gurnee Planning and Zoning Board for this Wednesday, November 6th, 2019. Could we have roll call, please?
Al.
Here.
Garrity.
Here.
Norntop.
Here.
Hath.
Here.
Paysack.
Here.
Riley. And Sula.
Present. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our meeting that was held on October 16th. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or changes?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Second. Moved by Mr. Garrity, second by Mr. Bao. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting schedule for 2020. I think this is the first time we haven't had to make a change.
Oh, yeah. And I do have just something
Okay.
to say. In the packets, we provided a proposed Planning and Zoning Board meeting schedule for the 2020 calendar year. We attempted to avoid holidays in January. Instead of having back-to-back meetings due to holidays, only one meeting is proposed. Should a second meeting be needed, one can be scheduled and noticed, and a vote is required for approval of this schedule.
Okay. Does anybody see any issues with it? Then a motion to approve it would be in order.
So moved.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing from Shepherd Capital LLC for a major modification to an existing special use permit for property located at 5631 Manchester Drive.
Shepherd Capital LLC has requested a major modification to an existing special use permit to allow an enlargement of a structure devoted to a special use permit by more than 20% and an increase in the bedroom patient count. The subject facility is located at 5631 Manchester Drive and was granted a special use permit in 2017 for a senior living facility known as the Gurnee Manor Residential Care Facility. As with all special use permit petitions, the Planning and Zoning Board will make a recommendation that will be forwarded to the Village Board for their determination. The petitioner is in attendance to present their requests and answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. As this is a public hearing, I would request anybody that intends to make a comment or question on this particular matter to please stand and be sworn in by the village attorney.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
You may be seated.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
Well, we have
You need to use the microphone.
we put together a small presentation, if that was okay with you.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm going to allow my wife to do most of the speaking.
Okay. Can I
'cause
have a
I'm-
portable if that's easier?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Teresa?
Hi there. Can you hear me okay? My name is Teresa Mascray. I'm one of three on Shepherd Premier Senior Living, and we're the ones petitioning. A couple things about Shepherd. I think it's important to know why we make these requests, so I thought I would follow the slides we prepared ahead of time instead of making it up. But we own and operate residential, small, assisted living homes in McHenry County. So as seniors age and they lose their health and they lose their independence and they can't care for themselves anymore, they also lose their home and their neighborhood and their community. And they very often end up living in a large building very differently than they've lived most of their lives. So at Shepherd, we want them to age and get the clinical standard of assisted living care required from a home setting. It's so important that they not be sitting in a clinical setting for the rest of their life. They're going to be ill for the rest of their life, but it doesn't mean they can't be in the comfort of a home. So that's the first thing I would want you to know, that we have 5 or 6 houses now. This is our 6th home. In Lake County, we have 5 in McHenry. we've won awards for our care for the last 4 years, and it's primarily because the care ratio in assisted living is very large. It's 1 caregiver for 20 seniors, sometimes 1 to 30 or 50 seniors at night. Most of them are incontinent. They need to be checked and changed every 2 hours. Just do the math. Nobody's getting any care. Our care ratio is 1 to 5. So we approach this from a life quality, their care, and their care being supreme. So our care ratio is 1 to 5 as a result. So we're bent towards care. If the company never gets big, we'll know the ones we have are getting excellent care. So we're very different. We purchased this building, and it's a beautiful building. It's recently been renovated, and so the first thing we want to do is change it because we want it to resemble a home. We're trying to create a residential setting out of a property that currently does not have a lot of residential appeal. So that's why we want to change the building. We keep that 1 to 5 care ratio, and that is predicated upon a bed count of at least 10. So to optimize our staffing model, we need 10 beds. This house currently has 8, so we would add a bedroom with the shared 2 beds in it, and take it to 10 so that the staffing model would work better. So that's why we're adding a bedroom. And you can move the slide. Brandon Schwab, our CEO and founder, I make fun of him a lot. He's 38. I got clothes older than my partner, right? He has a real talent for real estate acquisition and development. Steve and I, my other partner over here, we've been in the healthcare space. We worked around here for years in the healthcare market. And I think another thing that's really important about us as owners is we live here. We live 20 or 30 minutes from every property that we own. We're not a big corporate, entity, uninvolved. We're very up close and involved in our business. Next. And Chris, do you want to take it from here? Do you want to talk about the changes?
Can I add one other thing?
Sure.
Also, this is quite personal to us, and it's kind of a, if you will, calling. I'm not a youngster, as you can see, and we went through that, not only what we saw those 6 years that we saw professionally, but what my wife and I have been through within our own family, with my mother, with my father-in-law, with others involved in our family immediately. And even though she makes fun of Brandon being so young, Brandon had grown up and watched and still watches his mother take care of his uncle, which she has done since he was a little boy. So this is not only something that is a business to us, but it's also a calling, and it's something that we're very passionate and serious about also. Now, Chris is our architect, supreme, and he will take you through what we're looking to do from an exterior standpoint and what the outside will look like.
Hi. This slide is just showing what the existing floor plan currently is. If we can go to the next slide there. So basically what we're proposing to do is convert the office space into a new bedroom. Yep, right there. And then we are trying to add additional amenities to the floor plan. That seems to be what it's lacking the most. So we're trying to convert the open air drive-through area into a screen porch. So that's that area right there. Currently that is under roof, so we're trying to stay with the footprint for that. And then we are trying to add a kind of a great room or another room that they can hang out in with a fireplace. So that is our proposed footprint change is over there. If we go to the next slide, we could just skip that one. This is the existing site plan, so you can see the drop-off area there. If we go to the next slide, this is what we're proposing to do. So we're trying to keep the parking circulation the same as what it is right now, but we're trying to get rid of the drop-off area that was under the covered area, because that's now the screen porch. Meeting with staff early on, we thought that it was a good idea to add additional landscaping in that area, just to kind of separate it, to make sure that nobody feels it is part of the parking space. The way that people use this is they either drop off or they park. So we were working with staff. Staff asked us to look into seeing if we wanted to change the configuration of the parking, but this actually seems to be the most logical for how this will be used. So as you come in, you will either park or you will go drop off or pick up a patient. And if we go to the next slide, that's just the existing building there. The inside, it was really nice. Whoever did this before did a really nice job. It looks like a daycare. There's no sense of home feel to it. So that's what our challenge was, to try to make it look like a home. And if you go to the next slide, this is what we're proposing on doing. So you can see on the far left, that is the carport. We would be changing some roof elements to make it look a little more residential and convert that into a screen porch. We'd have some landscaping to that area. In the existing area, I think there's a big sign right now. We're going to take that off the building, add some additional windows, a new gable, a box out element, and then the area on the right with those windows right there, that would be the proposed sunroom. And then if you have any questions, I'm available.
Just have a couple of things that I would add. First of all, we provide meals from a residential kitchen that are served family style around a dining table with our residents at one big farm table. So this property has a commercial kitchen in it, but we don't typically put a commercial kitchen into play because we don't need one. The idea is to keep everything as residential as possible. The house is also locked down and secure. So in assisted living, you're going to get that memory care demand. So there's key code access on the doors. All of the entertainment area that Chris just described to you will be an Alzheimer's approved wander loop. So it's safe for people to move around. And we manage to any risk of elopement. So we keep our folks together in their home, safe and secure, and we take good care of them.
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Paff.
I have one. On here, answering some of the questions of staff, you mentioned that your records would be stored in a locked file cabinet at the nurse's desk. I don't see any nurse's desk on here.
There's a conference room there's a room that is currently a conference room off the dining area that will be converted to a nurse's office.
The existing
Thanks, Maureen.
multi-purpose room? Okay.
That's
I was
going to
just
be a
surprised
nurse's office.
It wasn't marked, so, okay.
But it says it's a multi-purpose room. Is that what it?
It's going to be
when I think
converted.
about-
We needed to relabel it. It's going to be converted to a nurse's office. We're licensed by IDPH for the care, and they have a lot of regulations around locked files, employee files, and HIPAA requirements on resident health information.
Any other questions? I just need to go through a formality here, because this is a public, open the floor to the public. I
Sure,
don't
sure.
think there's anybody here from the public, so I'm going to close the floor to the public. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Dave, you look like you wanted to say something. No?
I think it's great.
Okay. If not, then I smell something.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to forward a favorable recommendation on the petition of Shepherd Capital LLC for a major amendment to an existing special use permit to allow the enlargement of a structure devoted to a special use permit residential care facility by more than 20% and to allow an increase in the bedroom patient count in significant conformance with the plans dated 10/10/2019.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Garrity, second by Mr. Bao. Any discussion on the motion? Could we have a roll call, please?
Bao,
Aye.
Garrity,
Aye.
Nordentoff.
Aye.
Paff,
Aye.
Basiak,
Aye.
and Sula.
Aye, motion carries. As you probably know, we are a recommending body to the village board. Clara or Tracy will let you know when the village board will make the final decision. Welcome to the village, and good luck with your project.
Thank you very much. We're very proud to be here, and we're looking very much forward to be a good community citizen.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, I lost my agenda. Here we go. Next. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Next meeting on the calendar is scheduled for November 20th. Are we going to have a meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Opportunity for public comment. Close the floor on that. Motion to adjourn to be in order.
Motion to adjourn? Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.